Welcome to the Glenhurst ArTeach video series. In this episode, we visit 6 nations of the Grand River to speak to potters Judi and Cindy Henhawk about the history and meaning of Mohawk pottery.
I've always been around pottery with her family and friends down the road. I always had an interest in it over the years. After she taught me, we started traveling together, going to powwows and bazaars and things like that. So we've been traveling the powwow circuit for a number of years now.
Like Betty and Wilma, or Thelma and Louise.
Yeah. Well, she doesn't think of I do.
Yeah.
But we have a great time out in that.
So my Aunt Bun, Elda Smith, she was really curious about how the pots were made and why we don't have them anymore. And so there was a large chunk of time when there wasn't. It was like when Aunt Bun found the shards, that sparked an interest and said, where did it go? Like, why? And that's what happened. Like, that's what started it all. It's like, I want to do this. I want to carry this on. So, and that's when she was introduced to Tess, who kind of showed her how to do the pottery, but she taught herself how to do the design.
I think it came to the point where like the kettle, the copper and all that, and metal was all introduced. The pots and all that kind of stuff was introduced that way. Same as the guns replaced the arrows, right? And so it became a turning point there. And they kind of wayward, lost their. They probably knew how to still do it over time, right? Yeah. But it was just easier, I guess, to do the metal and all that kind of stuff.
And at the time of trading, that's what they would trade, is pots, pans, utensils. So that was easier than, to make the pottery. They had it right there. So yeah, I think it kind of got lost in the shuffle in that way until it was stumbled upon. And yeah, the colors go from white to gray to red, depending on where you get the clay. The clay near the river tends to be more of a brown. The clay around here would be gray, kind of a gray looking, but after it's fired, it's a different color altogether. So it's really hard to say what color it would be after it's fired. But
wow, I think it's because we already go into the schools and present the way she does more of the history, whereas I do the cultural part of it. Like when you ask a person what your clan is, it's actually asking what clay are you made from in the Mohawk language. So that's how it comes about, from the clay. So I explain it right from Mother Earth. So when they feel the piece of the clay, I tell them to kind of like make it theirs, like, get a good feel on it and stuff like that. Their energy and all that kind of stuff. And it's amazing when you're with these kids that they come in there and all talking and everything like that, right? And once you get working on it, it's just kind of quiet in there. They're really zoned in. Yeah. And there's a few kids that really wanted, like if I was to have classes and like outside other than school, that they would want to come and attend.
I also do like the 9 clans of the Iroquois. I do brooches, old Iroquois brooches. I put those on pieces to honor the brooches that used to adorn the clothing. And so, and sometimes when I'm throwing, the piece kind of like I could have something in mind, but the piece just kind of takes its own way. So I just work with it. So I might want to try to make a vase and it ends up being a bowl. So okay. So, but yeah, it all depends on when I sit there. I don't have a focus. As soon as I sit down, I just kind of feel the clay and work with it. And when I start throwing, it just sometimes becomes what it wants to be. But I really love the decorating. I love the decorating. I'll sit there in my room and being able to do things symmetrically, like, marking the pot where I'm going to put it so that everything is like the same all the way around, and sitting and taking the time to do that.
You're on your own zone, I guess you could say.
that's the same thing with autism. People with autism anywhere on the spectrum, it's the same thing. And Judi works a lot with the kids. I work more with the adults, and just watching some of the looks on their faces while they're working on the clay, you can tell whether somebody's getting frustrated or if they're really enjoying it and things just aren't working. So I just let them know, don't look for perfection. If you're looking for perfection, you're never going to be happy. So just work with the clay, let it guide you and see what comes up. And that seems to work.
Yeah, I find working with adults is that they're too, like you said, perfection. They want things a certain way and they focus, the minds, that's the way it's going to be. Whereas kids, the students are more like, okay, this is this, and they're kind of like focusing on, okay, it's going to go that way, all right, it's going to go that way then.
Yeah.
They're not so much as to like, I want to make it this way and stuff like that, yeah. The kids are just kind of going with the flow of things too.
Yeah. And we still make tools out of anything. Toothpicks, toothbrushes, anything that we can find, we can make as a tool for the pottery. Sticks, different kind of sticks, then just roll it on the clay just to make just to indent a pattern in it.
Yeah. Well, actually I did use a corn cob, like with the kernels on it and rolled it around on it, but yeah.
I like the relationship base that I talked about. It tells a story of how people should treat each other and what needs to be in a relationship for it to survive. The brooches, the old Iroquois brooches that used to be made that adorned their clothing, I put that on pottery to show and honor, the work that our people did so long ago. Doing the 9 clans of the Iroquois people, the 3 air, 3 land, 3 water, that itself tells a story. So, and this piece here has different wampums on it. This is Dee Martin's piece, and she's got the different wampum belts on there. So, and that's a story in itself as well. So, a lot of pieces have their own stories. Like I'll put arrows on them, so it talks about how our people hunted and how they fixed their food and like plants and the water. There's one that I do that there's a fire in the middle of a bowl, and then that because everything is done around a fire, and then along the inside there's like teepees and the sun. So the teepees represent the importance of family and community. So, and then the sun is there. It's coming up in the east and going down in the west. And then on the outside, there's trees that we give thanks for what the trees provide for us and the homes for the animals. And then waves under that for the water. So we're giving thanks for the water, for the fish, that's the life in the water. So, and I call that the Mother Earth Bowl because it's got everything in there, Mother Earth, and it shows our appreciation. So that's another story there. So there's always some kind of story in the pottery.
I sometimes include little cards with mine. There's one that I usually do is people of the print, people of the ribbons, shirt, people of the standing stone, all that. There's 6. And so I'll include the card that goes with that. Some of the other ones I do are just a turtle, and I'll give them the Mohawk language for that with that card. And teepees, we do teepees too. At one time they used to make them for ashtrays, but I just make them for little wick, little candles now. Yeah, so there's, then they can almost make up their own, not story, but their own. I bought this at the powwow, and this is what the lady explained it to be, so that she can explain it to other people when her visitors and things like that. So it kind of ripples on through. This pottery kind of represents my ancestors because they actually lived using the pottery for cooking and storing their stuff like that. And it's just like any other artifacts that we have. The beadwork, you know, now it's kind of contemporary to compare to what it used to be before. And same as our pottery is contemporary more than it was before, because they used to make it by hand and put it in ground firing, and somehow they managed to get a good pot that lasted for a while. And when they would move from village to village, they would destroy those pots and make new pots as they went to a new one. So that one there, so that's that part I want to do over again, is to be able to do the in-ground firing and actually cook in the pots itself.
Yes, Iroquois pottery. Yeah, it goes way back, like
there's pieces,
centuries.
There's pieces Smithsonian that have some. The Cultural Center in Bradford have some. The ROM has some.
There was always adorned with something, whether it be traditionally it was geometric. So like the bowl here, it was like this here, like that type of design. But there was always something on it to make it look attractive.
And they could have used like that. Some of them would use like maybe a corn cob and make impressions on it. I've seen some of that being done, some of the older pots. Well, after the piece has been thrown, I kind of look at it and I kind of decide what details will go on there. But I always focus on my Haudenosaunee culture, like whether it be my clans or whether it be the wampum belts or like ceremonies or something like that. Something that I can educate the other people about it. That's what I really focus on when I'm making a piece. Like these pieces here, like say, if somebody wanted that, they would look at it and then they'd be more inclined to learn about the different belts on there.
Because you could put anything. You could put history on the pieces. You could put the culture. There's just the animals and, you know, the way you feel about other people. There's a way to do that, you know, to put your feeling into the piece, and it all works out. Like I said, I was 6 years old when my mother started pottery, so it's been a part of my life for many years, and it's a part of me now, and I don't see me without pottery now. Like it's a part of me.
Myself, I find that it's very relaxing, and like I enjoy it because I can do it like 6 o'clock in the morning. I can do it 12 o'clock at night. I can do it, you know, basically anytime I really can find time to do it. And once I'm doing it, the world is gone. You know, I'm focused on what I'm doing here, and I really enjoy that. And then I enjoy it too when my pieces are said and done, and they're out and about, and people come in and enjoy and, you know, say, "Wow, that's an awesome piece," and you know, that gives me a good feeling there. That all my hard work is, you know, it's appreciated out there. Like
Judi said, it's so relaxing, and I just can't wait to get in there and sit down and start working on it again. It's just so inviting.
If you enjoyed this episode, please click the subscribe button below. Give us a like or visit our channel for more videos in the Glenhurst ArTeach series. You can also stay up to date with everything Glenhurst at glenhurst.ca.